The next topic we are going to discuss is testing, searching, and manipulating strings. So basically, you can use the in operator to determine whether one string is a substring of another string or not. So for that, the general format is basically the string 1 that you are going to search in the original string, that is string 2. So string 1 and string 2 can be string literals or variables referencing strings, purely that is understandable. So similar to in, you can also use the not in operator to determine if a particular word is in your text or not. So let's see an example. So here you have the text that is 4 score and 7 years ago. You are trying to search if 7 is in your text or not. So you could directly just search if 7 in text, print the 7 is found, else print it is not found. Similarly, if you are trying to search for name Perry in Bill, Joanne, Susan, Chris, Juan, and Katie, in that case, you can just, this is a demonstration by using the not in operator. So you can just have if name, not in names, print name was not found, else name is found. So depending upon the in and not in, your statements underneath the if and else statements will be different. So you have to make sure like what your statements are, and that will depend upon if you are using the in operator or not in operator. Next, let's talk about string methods. So you have there are various methods and types of methods which you can use. In the next slide, I'll just provide you with all of the methods and what they usually do. The general format for using any of those methods is your string dot method name followed by arguments. So as these are all Boolean, or most of the methods are Boolean, it will either return true or false depending upon the condition. So like if, let's see, so it says is alnum. So this will return true if your string has both alphabets and digits, like alphabets or digits. And it must be at least 1 character in length, otherwise there is no point in checking, right? So if it is if you have like both alphabets and numbers in your string, then the operation of this will return true, otherwise it will return false. Next is alpha. If your string has only alphabets, then you are going to use is alpha. If your string has only digits, then you can just use is digit. If your string has any lowercase alphabets, then you can just use is lower. If your string has any spaces, then you can use is space. If your string has only uppercase alphabets, then you can use is upper. So there is an example where I demonstrate a few of these. And then in the lab session, we are going to demonstrate most of them. So you're still going to get the practice out of these methods. So you have string 1 is equal to 1200. So now if you are going to check if this contains only digits or if it contains any alphabets as well, as we are only checking for digits, we can just say if string 1 is digit, open and close the parentheses, print string 1 contains only digits. As in this case, like string 1 only has digits, this condition will become true, and then your output will be string 1 only contains digits. Here we have 1, 2, 3 ABC. So this string, like string 2, has both digits and alphabets. So here is digit is false. So that is the reason why you'll see the input string output string 2 contains characters other than digits. So whenever you are working with string methods, some methods will return a copy of the string to which you can make modifications. So this is what I was talking about when I first introduced the content strings. So we when certain methods are used, it was going to create a different string for you, and you can make, and that new string is mutable. So you can make any changes to that existing string. And next concept we are going to look at is string comparison. And for string comparison, you must understand that strings are case sensitive. We are already familiar with that. So a lower and upper methods can be used for making case sensitive comparisons. And we also know that lowercase alphabets are not the same as uppercase alphabets. So here are some string modification methods. So earlier it was string testing methods. Now we are looking at string modification methods. So if you want to convert an uppercase string into a lowercase string, then you can just use lower, and it will return a copy of string with all the alphabetical characters converted to lowercase. Lstrip is used when you want to create a new string from the existing string, but when you want to remove all the leading white space characters. So white space characters are \n, \t, and spaces. Yeah, the regular spaces. So when you are using lstrip, all the white space characters towards the beginning of the string will be removed. And you can always provide a character as an argument for this one. And this can have \n or \t if you're only looking to remove some particular white space characters. This is similar to rstrip, that is right strip. So you have rstrip, which will remove all the trailing characters, for all the trailing white space characters. So towards the end, whatever the white space characters are, those will be removed. And strip is basically, it will remove all the leading and the trailing. So it will remove all the white space characters from the beginning and from the ends of the string as well. If you want to remove a particular white space character, like let's say space, then you can directly use strip, open parenthesis, and the particular character as your argument. And upper will return a copy of string with all the alphabets converted to uppercase. So I have some examples here, and whatever we don't have, we'll be discussing in the lab. So you have letters W, X, Y, Z. If you want to convert that into lowercase, then letters dot lower. I will see W, X, Y, Z as my output. ABCD dot upper, it will give me ABCD in uppercase. So this is an example of lower. So like, in the previous examples where we have asked the user to enter capital Y or lowercase y. So if we are asking for a lowercase y, then we can just, whatever the user is entering, we can take that and we can convert that into lowercase and then use that in our condition. Similarly, if we are only looking for uppercase y, then you can just convert that into uppercase y and use that in our condition. So string methods, there are two other methods as well, that is ends with and starts with. And there are more, like we have find, replace, remove. So we'll see what those are. So we have ends with substring. So if you are basically checking if the entered text is a website or a URL, in that case, you can just directly check with .com as your substring. So if that is ending with .com, then the text or then the condition will become true. Otherwise, the condition is false. Starts with, same thing with the website. If it is starting with HTTPS, then you can say that it is a website. So starts with open and close parenthesis, the argument, which is the substring of your existing string. If that is true, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Next, we have find. So we can also use find along with, if when you're trying to look up a particular word or a particular substring from an existing string, then the syntax will be find substring, searches for the substring within the text. If it is true, then it will return the lowest index of the substring. So it will give you the starting point of that substring. If it is false, instead of returning false, it will return -1. If it is true, it will return the index of the substring. If it is false, it will return -1. Now replace. So if you want to replace a previous or an old substring with a new substring, then you can directly use replace. So as the name itself, the substring will be replaced by the new string in our original string. So here are some, here is the table that is denoting the same. So we have examples here. So file name, enter the file name, ends with .txt, then that is the name of the text file. If that is a .py, it is the name of the Python file or script file. Or if it is a .doc, then it is a Word document. Otherwise, we can just say unknown file type. So here string 4 score and 7 years ago, position string dot find 7. So if position is not equal to -1, that means that we have the that we have 7 in our string, and that is found at index 15. Right, because this will return, if the word 7 is present in the string, it will return the index of this word 7. Otherwise it will just return -1. So if it is equal to -1, so if this is false, then the word 7 was not found in the text is your output. Same thing, if you are going to replace years with days, then you can just have string dot replace a old or the original substring, comma, new string. So now when you print this, it will be 4 score and 7 days ago. Hope that is clear. Next, let's look into the repetition operator. We are already familiar with repetition operator from chapter 7, and also maybe before that could be. So we are going to use the multiplication symbol for the repetition operator. So it will just copy the string n number of times. So if I have W repetition operator 5, the output will be like, if I print my string, it will be www. Print hello 5, it will be hello 5 times. So split method. So this is little interesting. So you can convert a string into a list by using a split method. So this operation, after this operation is done, the output will no longer be in the string format. It will be with the data type list. So by default, use a space as a separator. But if you want to specify a particular argument, you can still specify that by using the split method. There is a question in the lab or in the lab assignment where I'll be using split method, I think. So we'll take a look at during the lab, or I have an example in the next slide as well. So this is our date in the string format, right? 11/26/2018, where backslashes are also considered as characters. Now, when I am having this statement, date string dot split with backslash as my argument, the output of this operation, the second statement, will be a list containing 3 elements. First element will be my number 11, second will be 26, third element will be 28. That is the output. So if you do not want to specify any arguments, as this does not have any spaces, it will just be one element list. So 11/26/2018 will be one element in our list. That is the reason why we are making sure that we have an argument to separate the numbers. So if you want to print each and every, month, day, and year, you can just use the concept of index in our lists. So as now date list is in the format of a list, we can just print the month, which is the index 0, day, which is index 1, year, which is index 2. So with that, we are done with our chapter 8. So the next video will be your lab discussing chapter 8. And I have also posted a programming assignment, so work on that one as well.